Well, June is the start of wedding season, and if you'll be getting married soon, before you say I do, you first need to have the talk, and that is about finances. Craig Bolanos of the Wealth Management Group is joining us now to explain. Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Great to be back.
I love how you've broken this down. You have 5 most important tips, but first of all, I should ask you, where do you even begin?
You know what? You begin just by setting some common goals. If we can get couples on the same page financially, preferably before they tie the proverbial knot, there's a much greater chance this marriage is going to last a lifetime.
Because finances are a huge reason for divorce.
It's the most divisive reason. It's the most common reason for a divorce. I mean, there is nothing worse than financial infidelity.
Yeah. Right, and then finding out maybe after you've tied the knot that that other person has some major debt. That would be a horrible thing.
Yes, well, you know, today America's waking up with the financial hangover, with the cost of college, credit cards, and I think it's fair game to ask our partner, what is your debt load? Not your FICO score.
Yeah.
You might have a great FICO score, but you could be carrying mountains of debt.
Interesting. Okay, let's start with your first tip. You say, first of all, what we should be doing is we should be looking at our current debt levels, and mine and the person that I am going to be married to. How do you go about doing that?
Well, I think you just start the conversation, which is, you know, being transparent and forthright and saying, you know, we're getting married. We're bringing different circumstances into this marriage, but if we're really going to plan for a secure future, then we should know what we're up against together, and that begins with an understanding of what we just discussed. How much debt are we each carrying? Okay,
and then tip number 2, so what does money and your current income mean to you? What does that mean?
Well, you know what? I want to avoid financial power plays, you know, and when we have couples coming into the marriage, each is going to have a different salary, and some people define their self-esteem, rightly or wrongly, based on how much money they make, and we want to avoid having the person that makes the higher salary feel that they're preordained to then make the majority of the decisions.
Okay, so put that out there. Then, are we going to commingle our finances or leave them separate, which I've always found interesting.
Yes.
I was married young, so instantly we commingled our finances, but that's not the way some people do things.
No, it's not, and I'm a big advocate for what you said. If we are young, if we're getting married for the first time, let's focus on the pronoun that's not mine, not yours, but ours together. There's great leverage. But today, so many people don't find love until the second go-around. And they should have separate finances, but there still needs to be at least one joint account in order for things to work well.
Okay, because you think that's important to say, I accept you, why is that important, do you think?
Well, I think there has to be some level of common ground.
Sure.
You know, I see it time and time again. Today, you know, I can have my banking, you can have yours, but we both need to contribute to a joint account and have those joint bills paid out of that. It just creates visibility.
Sure. Okay, and then the next one is, have you saved for retirement?
Yes. You know, and usually I talk about retirement because sometimes it's hard for couples to get through the emotional dynamics of money. And if we can start with a discussion of something that's long-term, far away, like retirement, it just gets the conversation brewing, and it can lead into these other topics that are sometimes taboo.
Okay, here's an interesting one. In this day and age, do we need a prenup, and who does need a prenup?
All right, you know, it's funny.
Who doesn't need?
I saw the talking points on my way in this morning, and I had someone ask me at the gym this week. They said, Craig, do I need a prenup? And I said, you know, if you're asking, it probably means you either need one or want one. And 40% of marriages today are having prenups, and it's not, you know, taboo anymore. It's common because of marriage later in life.
Okay, so it is because of marriage later in life. So most likely people now are getting married at an older age. They have established maybe careers and finances, and that is why the prenup is a necessity. Now, a lot of people might be insulted if one other person says, before we get married, we're not going to do this.
You know what? I think there was a stigma some decades ago that, yes, if you're asking me for a prenup, you don't trust me. That's just not common today because of the situation. It's just widely acceptable. So I think a prenup
is widely acceptable.
It's widely acceptable. It's commonplace. You know, it's part of the culture now.
Very interesting. Boy, I got married a long time ago. That would have never flown. Of course, I had nothing to give, so.
Yeah, you know, we came together with $20 in our bank account, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, okay. Great advice. Where should people go to learn more about you and get more information?
Thank you. Yeah, go out to our website, investwithwmg.com, investwithwmg.com.
Okay, and before you say I do, have the talk, right?